Welcome everybody to Confidence Factor Talks. Woo-hoo! Y'all know the drill. Y'all know what it is. Every single Tuesday right here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace. Oh, my bad. That's long gone right now. But we are here in the building. This is Confidence Factor Talks. My name is Rudy LaRose, and guess what? I'm in the building, baby. I am here. I am present. I am ready to go, and I'm excited about this show that I have for you guys. Y'all see the lions? You guys see the lions? Hold on, I got to show. Y'all see the lions right here? The lions are here to represent. Boom. The lions are here to represent, man. I'm excited to be in the building with you guys tonight. We have an exciting show for you all today. Man, I can't wait for these two powerhouses to come into the building. You know, before there was, Angelina Jolie and Brad, before there was Will and Jada, you know what I'm saying? Before there was the Huxtables, there was the Archies, you know what I mean? And they are in the building, as always, to give us mad information. Man, it's going to be an exciting show, and I can't wait. So, if you're watching, do me a favor, do me a huge favor. Mention in the comment section where you're watching from. If you're representing New York, Boston, Florida, Miami, Cuba, Jamaica, wherever you're watching from, let me know where you represent in the comment section so that we can know who you are today. If you are first time on StreamYard watching this, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to add StreamYard to your comment section. Otherwise, we have no idea who you are. So make sure you add StreamYard to the comment section. And of course, if you're watching this and you're watching the replay, put in #replay because we want to know who's watching, right? In the comments. And as well, from time to time, we're gonna drop some jewels. I'm telling you, we're gonna drop some stuff. Like, you're gonna hear some stuff like, wow, like it's just gonna be like a mind-blowing moment for you. And if you have those moments, I want you to put #heart level in there. Just that, just plain and simple. #heart level. And when you do, we know exactly what you're talking about. We know exactly what that means. And we'll be talking about that later on today. But for now, man, I have a powerhouse show tonight. We are talking about emotional intelligence. We are talking about how emotional intelligence can impact how you set and achieve goals. And these two coming on to the stage with us is literally the ones that are going to be talking about that. But before they come on, I want to bring on birthday boy. You know what I'm saying? Big 5-0, baby. Wait. I got something for you. Big 5-0 in the building. What's going on, man?
I can't believe it, bro. I cannot believe it. Where did the time go? You can't tell me. I cannot believe I lived 50 years on this earth. I can't. I just can't believe it.
Bro.
I know, right?
Lamar Gwynn in the building, man. Our producer. What's going on, brother?
Man, I'm happy to be here. Woo, I'm glad I made it.
Yeah.
No lion left. No lion left alone.
No lion left alone. Did
alone.
You know you're gonna be 50? Did you know you're gonna make it to 50, brother?
There was a point in time. In all honesty, there was a point in time where I did not believe I was going to see 50.
Wow.
I mean, I literally remember being in full out drug addiction, thinking this is the way I was going to die. And so here I am to be able to tell that story. So I'm glad to be here. A blessing every day.
Man. I'm glad to have you, brother. I'm glad to have you among us, among the lions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't know what it took for us to get here, but we are here indeed, and we are pressing forward with our CF men in the building. Shout out to Darian Hill. He could not make it tonight. Shout out to Dr. Javon, and shout out to Bobby B. Man, they are all experiencing some technical difficulties, some schedule difficulties, but we are here, and we are amazed at what is happening here at Confidence Factor, man. You want to tell them a little bit about what we do in here, Lamont, at Confidence Factor?
Man, this is a community for men. And this is where we have heart level conversations that lead to transformations. And we have SMART principles, SMART, SMART principles. What does that stand for? The SM, self-mastery. Because we believe that in order to go to the next level, you have to have self-mastery. That's when you're alone and when you're with the group, self-mastery. Then we have accountability. And that's one thing that I love about this community is accountability. We hold each other responsible, and being a part of can do that, right? And so it's not like you have to do it alone. You have to go through this journey by yourself. In Confidence Factor, within the community, you have brothers that you can lock arms with in order to go to the next level. And the last is resources and tools. And that's what Confidence Factor Talks. That's what this show is about. That's what our Unleash Your Riches mastermind is about. Resources and tools in order for you to level up, as the doc would say, as Dr. Javon would say, level up in your life and your business. So that's what we are here about here at Confidence Factor.
I love it, brother. I love it. And you know what I love about this community is the fact that we're able to help one another with those resources and tools, right? Because we don't all have it, together. We don't all know what's going on. Some of us are the legs, some of us are the feet, some of us are the hands, some of us are the brains. And so when we get together collectively at Confidence Factor, we're able to navigate to some situations that maybe you already went through it, right? And so rather than going alone through it, we talk about the lid. We talk about men being out there as entrepreneur, being lonely, being isolated, being that they feel like they don't matter. And so we have developed this community for the men, but definitely with the support of the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because without the ladies, let's just be honest, a lot of the men wouldn't be here. As a matter of fact, one of the things I remember I used to laugh about when I was up and coming is the fact that you had all of these bars. You used to make it ladies' night all the time, and I used to think to myself, well, is that all they want there is ladies? Why is it always about ladies' night? Until I figured out what that means is if the ladies are gonna show up, guess who shows up right after that? The men.
The men gonna be there.
And so the men gonna be there. The ladies gonna be there. The men gonna be there. And so we are a community that helps with creating that safe space for entrepreneurial men to talk. I remember one of my favorite conversations last year when we went on a trip to Atlanta. We had a young man who joined us. By the way, shout out to Chris Ward, man. Happy birthday. I know it was your birthday probably a day or two ago. Shout out to Chris Ward if you're watching, man. What's going on, man? Let's go arms. You know what I'm saying? Let's go legs. He knows what I'm talking about. But I remember this young man, talking about his relationship with his son, and how strenuous it was, and things weren't really going the way that he expected. And so we encouraged him that day, and we talked. We said, look, even if it's not going the way that you want it to go, but at the very least, be the one that responds to him. Be the one that picks up the phone call and makes that call. Be the one that leaves the message. And you never know where it might lead to. Just be persistent in that. And so he decided to do that, man. And literally within months, him and his son had gotten together after over 5 years of not really talking and connecting. And now they're really close again, man. So this is what this community is all about, Lamont. And I love that we get to do that, man.
Yeah. It's and we're about to launch our mastermind coming in the end of April. So get ready, because Unleash Your Riches is here, man. I can't wait for us to start that again.
Man, I cannot wait for Unleash Your Riches. If you didn't know, riches stands for relationship, income, community involvement, health, your education, your spiritual wealth, all that stuff. This is why we've created this community, because of the idea that we can't do it alone, guys. We need everyone to join in and lock arms. So if you know someone who is an entrepreneur, it could be your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your father, your significant other, someone who, is out there doing their thing, or whether they have their own business or they're in management position in a company. Bring them into to the fold, man. Let them know about what we're doing here at Confidence Factor. They can go to confidencefactor.com and see all things Confidence Factor. Before we bring on the guest, Lamont, I know you got to let us know how you celebrated 50, man. You got to let us know, man. What's up, bro?
So I wanted to do this big blowout party. I'm going to do it later this year. But what I did is I said, I want to do something. I want to try something I've never done before. And I wanted to jump out of an airplane. But I didn't make those arrangements. So I did the next best thing. And I'm going to play the video. I want you to see it. But I want you to pay attention to my face. All right? Because they give you the training first, and then you do it. And when you look at it, you will see my face. And I'm going to just play it, and then we can talk about it real quick. Let's see if I watch this. All right, man, when I got into that tube, that I was just like, oh, this is how it feels. Like it was it was so exhilarating. And the guy, one of the guy said, he said, jumping out of an airplane feels just like that. We think, he says, you think that you're going to get that feeling like your stomach is going to fall, like you're falling out from a high altitude. He says it doesn't feel like that at all. So it was a great experience. And then
I actually, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you because I actually did it as well a week right before you did. So go ahead, finish.
Yeah. So basically, he said when you jump out of an airplane, it's that same kind of feeling. So I had a ball. I had a blast.
What really took me back was how dry your mouth gets over there with the whole situation, man. I kept feeling like, man, that mouth is really dry.
It was awesome.
So, man, it was awesome. Bobby B, what's going on, brother?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes,
we got
finally
you.
made
yes,
it.
Sir.
Y'all got some storms over there in Jacksonville?
He can't hear us.
Are you getting me?
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, we getting you.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, excellent. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
I got a thunderstorm. There's a thunderstorm in my area. Yeah, man.
I'm glad you made it, brother. Right on time, too.
Yes, sir.
So I want to bring up these guys, man. I think this is going to be an interesting conversation. Two different dynamics, man. So let's go ahead and get ready for that. So coming to the stage, we have a powerhouse couple. I met these guys a while back, and I remember even back in the days, man, they were moving and shaking and making some moves. And here we are years later, still crushing the industry, still doing their thing. Adrian has a wife, two beautiful daughters, 3 and 17. He grew up in Concord, North Carolina, played football throughout his childhood, went to University of Richmond on football scholarship, and he started a pre-vet major, but switched to psychology and graduated in 2003. He did play pro football in the CFL in 03 and 04, and briefly for the Atlanta Falcons in 05. And then after hanging up his cleats, he began his career in surgical device sales. Wow. Selling drills and saws for brain and spine surgery, and later promoted to brand manager, where, of course, he became the man doing all things. But now he's got a pet industry called PetNMind, which is very interesting how that dynamic shifted, right? And then you got Melia, sorry, I always say Melia. See, I corrected myself, Melia, okay? I corrected myself. Melia is the founder and chief counsel of the Modern Creators Law Firm. This is really cool. A practice dedicated to providing expert support to small businesses, content creators, social media influencers, and other innovators, with over a decade of experience as senior in-house counsel for large global corporation. Melia knows how to help creators and innovators bring their ideas to life while managing risk. They are just an amazing, amazing couple. I love their energy, their smiles. I got a chance to hang out with them recently at Black Leadership Summit. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make some noise, make some mad energy for the power couple of the year, baby. Bring them on, Melia and Mr. Archie. Come on, bring them on. There they are. There they go.
What's going on?
Hello.
What's up? Welcome.
Can you hear us okay?
Y'all hear? Yep, I can hear you, Kurt. Okay. Turn your camera sideways, though. I think we will be able to see you better if you do that, if you can.
Me?
Let's go.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go. So welcome. Of course, ladies first. Melia, what's going on? We go way back, like my receding hairline. We go way back. I mean, your daughter she was like a jet. She was like this little peanut coming to church. About looking at everybody up. Now she's taller than me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they feed these kids. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh man, it's my pleasure. I know you're coming from a long trip, so I'm gonna ladies first, of course. I'm just gonna start with you, Melia. What is going on in your world today? First of all, welcome to Confidence Factor. First time ever. I'm excited to have you here, and I'm sure it's not gonna be the last time. But when we connected just recently, one of the things that stood out to me was your excitement for this type of industry, right? Especially podcasting and all things, social media. But before we go there, give us a little bit of background. Where are you coming from? Who is Melia?
Yeah. Well, Melia is a wife first, Christian, a mother, and now a new entrepreneur. I spent my whole legal career. I graduated from law school in 2006 and moved to Miami to be a prosecutor. I did that for 7 years and then transitioned in-house to corporate law and had the pleasure of building global legal programs around privacy and security and technology for large Fortune 200 companies. And just realized how much I loved working with creators and innovators. So working alongside the sales and marketing teams, the engineers, but really wanted to do that with small and mid-sized businesses who don't always have the opportunity to have a lawyer on payroll, but nonetheless have very similar legal issues to the big corporations, but just don't know where to start. And so just in January, we launched the Modern Creators Law Firm and VoiceBox Podcast and Creator Studio, which gives us an opportunity to create sort of a ecosystem of services around content creation, but around legal services as well. So, folks who are innovating and creating content and using social media to reach their customer base can also get the legal advisement they need on how to protect their brand, protect their intellectual property, protect all the content that they're creating. But not only just from a defensive perspective, but to be offensive about it. So how can we as a community, and when I say we, I mean entrepreneurs, small business owners, but specifically minority content creators and entrepreneurs, but be better at knowing the value of our intellectual property and how we can use that to increase revenue and increase our reach, but doing it proactively through things like licensing deals and distribution deals. And so I love the space. You're exactly right. I was born to do this. And so just feel very blessed to be able to do it.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said you started as a prosecutor, man. Why? What made you go into that field, first of all?
Yeah. I don't do anything unless I believe in it passionately. And I believe I can make an impact and make a change. And coming through law school, me, like so many other people, we have such a monolithic view of the law. And it's usually what we see on TV, Law and Order. And so I think that probably absolutely skewed my decision with respect to becoming a prosecutor. But it was the right decision for me because I really got to help people. And what I said is, if you see me standing across the podium as your prosecutor, you're having a good day. Because if nothing else, you know you're going to be treated fairly. And I loved being a prosecutor in Miami-Dade County because Catherine Fernandez Rondeau, shout out, gave us the power to make charging decisions that made sense. So if we didn't believe that something happened the way it was reported, we didn't have to move forward with that prosecution. And that's not the case everywhere in the United States. You know, there are certainly offices where there's pressure put on the staff to try cases that may or may not need a second look. And so being in the seat of a decision maker in that context gave me a lot of ability to make positive impacts in the community in Miami-Dade County.
And you worked there for how long, you said?
I was there for 7 years.
Wow. So you might have ran into Judge Lodi Jean. Well, she's a judge now. I don't know that
Lodi was actually, she was a prosecutor when I was a prosecutor.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So Lodi and I went to school together in Haiti, actually. In high school together. Yeah, we went to high school together. Small world, man. Small world. I want to talk to you about that aspect of life, because right now, as it stands, there's a lot. I don't think I've seen, at least in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever seen a more involved legal aspect that's going on in the United States right now. And that's everywhere, whether it's presidential, whether it's, politics, whether it's Black history. I mean, it's all over the place. Do you see a lot of things being redefined, for the next generation as things move along? And how are you seeing that impact what you do today, maybe?
Yeah, I think every era has their own sort of whirlwind of legal issues that surface. For us in technology, it's everything to do with the internet and data and the way that we access and we transact in data. And so the laws will always be behind times with respect to trying to catch up with what we see happening in society. It was no different than what you saw in the Industrial Revolution, right? The regulation had to come to really put controls around an industry that was beneficial to society, but also could be very harmful to society. And so that's what we're seeing on the technology and the data side is things are moving so fast and will only get faster with things like artificial intelligence and machine learning. The laws have to, figure out, okay, how can we do this in a way that people are safe and protected? Now, you overlay that with politics and things get really nasty really fast because, everyone is championing their own ideas from their own perspectives and a lot of times for their own benefit. And so, you have to have folks who can represent the truth and the constant middle, which really does represent the majority of us. Most of us aren't the extremist on either side. We fall somewhere in the middle, and we want to do what's right, and we want to have the ability to participate in the digital economy and to help grow something that is benefiting so many people. But so many folks are disenfranchised. And so as things mature, hopefully the laws will be able to, sort of track with all of the momentum we're seeing across these industries.
Yeah, I can totally see when you said technologies, I can totally picture in my head a cop stops the car and there's nobody driving. You know what I'm saying? Like who gets the ticket? You know, officer, it wasn't me. Listen, I'm sitting in the back seat. You know, hey, what you gonna do? So yeah, man. So
Right.
things are changing rapidly in our lives. And so I'm excited to have you once again. I'm going to bring you back on to talk a little bit more about, excuse me, voice box. But I want to bring Mr. Adrian in the building, man. What's going on, brother?
Really?
Oh, wait, I can't hear you.
Yeah. So we're using her mic. So go ahead and mute yours, and I'll do mine. Mute yours back.
There you go.
That better?
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Now she's got to turn hers down.
This is mine. Switch yours.
All right, that's better. There you go, man. Sorry about
There you
that.
go. All right. No worries, no worries. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, we grinding. We keeping up the pace. That's what we focus on.
Man, I did
Yeah.
not know you played for the Falcons. I had no idea.
Yeah, briefly. They brought me in. They needed a tackling dummy for a couple months. They brought me. I was there 05 briefly. I was in Canada for 2 seasons, and then the end of 04, Canada, I got cut. I came home, and then the Falcons brought me in, signed me, and then signed 3 linebackers in the draft. Brought some free agents over. So I was in. But at that point, I was done, man. So when they cut me, it gave me an excuse to stop pursuing it, for sure.
There you go. Hey, at least you get to protect your brain now. You know, you can use it for other things, man. Because I hear y'all be getting hurt.
Yeah, hey, football talk. Football. What worries me is you got to turn it down, man.
Wait, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Is that better?
There you go.
I'm gonna have to go in another room.
Yeah. Hold on. One of you got to mute. Otherwise, there you go. Okay.
Yep. Are you
Oh,
muted?
still. Hold on. Let me try this.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So I was there briefly, man. But from the what is going on? And every time I touch the phone, it cuts back up. Sorry about that. But from the aspect
Tell her
of
to
just
turn
football,
her volume
I was
down.
done, man. But I don't think you should change the hitting and stuff, in my opinion, because it's parts of the game that are going to change. But you don't get me deep in that, man, because I can get passionate about that. If you go to war, if you go to the military, you're going to have to face some bullets. If you play football, it's part of the game.
It's part of the game. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Talk to us about Adrian, man. Who is Adrian Archie? You know, from North Carolina, of all places, man. Tell us, man, what was it like growing up over there? Now you're in South Florida. You know, it's a whole different vibe, ball game, I know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I'm a country boy, man. I honestly walk around barefoot. I don't go in bathrooms barefoot, but other than that, I'm a country boy. I grew up playing in the woods, creeks, playing football since the age of 6. Racing fan. I'm a NASCAR fan because I grew up in the home of it.
Wow.
That's where the industry's based. So if I had to do over, man, I would actually be a race car driver.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. And so you're in North Carolina. You've grown up, going in football. Now, did you get a scholarship? I think you said you got a scholarship right out of high school.
Yeah, full scholarship. I committed to Appalachian State, and at the last minute, Coach Reed, head coach at Richmond, came in and impressed my mom, and I'm a mama's boy. And best decision I ever made going to the University of Richmond. And then under Coach Reed, great education at Richmond, well-known school from that aspect, but we became men under Coach Reed. And that's why when I hear the kids these days not doing 2-a-days and you can't get hit, it's a lot that they're missing that we grew up under playing football. And that's what worries me is where do they get that now?
Yeah, what they get out of it. I remember having a conversation with Coach Charlie Weiss. He was on the show, and he was talking about how a lot of these kids, man, football to them, that's them becoming men. I mean, literally, you know, to some of these kids, he was like a father figure to them. You know,
I didn't have a father. Like literally didn't have a father. So my grandfather and uncle were great, but you know, it wasn't a father figure. I didn't have that until I went to college, and it was a head coach. And the first year of that was so rough that I wanted to quit. But by the end of the season, end of my senior and captain and everything else, and I still talk to Coach Reed to this day. My best friends in life were guys I came in with the Richmond. We still talk 22 years later, every day through text messaging. So that grind, that going through it, bleeding together, crying together, partying together, losing together, winning together, there's something to that. And kids transferring and stuff these days, it worries me. You know, I mean, every generation is different. I'm sure my mom and dad probably said the same about us, right? But it is something to the game that just worrying about head injuries, you will have a lot of other injuries also because and then you're not growing people. And that's the thing that worries me.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. I get that. Well, so you go into college, you get a chance to play pro. I'm sure you meet a lot of people. One of the things I've always wondered about sports, and not just the NFL, but just like sports in general, especially professional sport, why is it, and from my understanding, and I might be wrong in these numbers, 70% of pro football players go broke after they retire? How is that?
I mean, well, I think that's in general. Most of the guys, you probably don't have, I mean, I didn't grow up and I didn't grow up with much financial education, right? So you throw somebody into millions of dollars, you got a lot of people that are taking advantage of them. And then two, football, when compared to the NFL and NBA, they're not making as much. Like those contracts in NFL and NBA are guaranteed. They sign that contract, they make that money. Whereas football, if you get hurt, you get cut, whatever, that money's not there. So those 16 games, if you miss a game or here, you're getting injury pay and everything else. And then two, the lifestyle. You can only play football to what? Tom Brady is not the norm, right? So the average career is 4 years barely. So you have that lifestyle and now you have all these possessions. And then you're not making those millions anymore. So that it's probably more so of that. But then what you'll find and what I found as a professional athlete is that it's a job. And you get out of it what you put into it, literally. And that's off the field too.
Right. And do you have, now that you look back, what are some of the things that you took away from your career and as a pro football now that you take into your entrepreneurship?
Yeah, man. I played pro briefly, and I was I was grinding. I was making teams, so it was a day-to-day situation, and that's why I got old that last time and I moved on. But from the aspect of the game in general, coming from a kid at 6 years old all the way to 24, 25, it number one, you learn how to compete, right? And I think that's something that's never left. And it's gotten to the point now, and I'm a big believer you always improve, right? So if I'm competing since the age of 6, at the age of 42, my competition looks totally different. I'll stand in the room with you and laugh and joke with you and beat you, right? So that competition piece of it and understanding that that's a part of life is a big deal. Being on the team, understanding people. If we get into the emotional intelligence piece, I'm an emotional intelligence coach. And I didn't realize how much emotional intelligence really is a part of athletics, football growing up. For instance, I'm sure you've heard football players say that it's controlled chaos, right? Right, and that's I was a linebacker. It's controlled chaos. I remember we played UVA my senior year. I'm coming into the game, a preseason All-American, 1AA, and UVA obviously is a D1 school, and we go into it, and my little cousin died right before the game. He had a long illness and he died. So his mom brought me a picture, but they were late, and I taped it to my shoulder pad. So they got there right as we were running out of the tunnel. So I got extremely emotional. First game my senior year, we got big aspirations of what's going to happen. And I ran out, I threw up. I don't even remember the first half. One of the biggest games of my life. I don't even remember the whole first half because I got I went past the point. So now it was just chaos. It was no control. So that's life, right? The consistency that you need to achieve whatever maybe you're looking for fulfillment, it requires consistency. And I think that's what a lot of people miss is that really, really great day will actually throw you into the dumps because you're going to keep looking for that every day. And you have to have the understanding that great day is you still need to come back to neutral just as quick. And that's part of the thing you learn in athletics as far as consistency, putting in the work. And then the last piece of that, I think is really important from an emotional intelligence standpoint, is that life is about moments. And so many of us miss our moments, right? I started playing football. Like, take Tom Brady, for instance. He's 44 something years old. He played football, NFL, pro ball longer than I played. And I played pro ball. So when you think about the hours and hours and hours, spring ball, summer, two-a-days, lifting weights, trainers, he put in literally millions of hours for 500 hours on the field.
Right.
And so you really have to understand that, number one, it takes work to be the best, to win consistently, but also it requires the same controlled chaos as showing up in those moments. And that's really what you learn from athletics and putting in that work, is that we can show up on game day and everything we looked at on film, they did something else, the tendencies they didn't stick with and they tried to fool us. Okay, so now nothing's working. Go back to what you worked. Go back to the 10,000 hours. Right? And that's what I took from football.
Wow. So coming to emotional intelligence, and of course that's the topic tonight. We're talking about how emotional intelligence can impact how you set and achieve goals. And so as both of you guys are obviously now running careers, and I want to bring both of you guys into this conversation, as both of you guys are running careers now, and you're having to balance, if you will, life. Melia, this is a question for you. So many of us men feel like this balancing act is definitely crucial to maintain the level of, home life and things like that. But even as a mother, I mean, y'all do some amazing things. I mean, you could be watching TV, be on the iPad, talking to a girlfriend, and seeing what your kid is doing on the room on the other side of the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to us about about what is it like to be in a space where you have to still have goals, you have to still dream, and you have to still achieve the things that you're just starting something brand new now. So how do you navigate around all that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd say first, it's important that as a family, and even if it's a single mother, you with the kids, or a single father, you with the kids, to decide what your family charter is, right? Because I think where things go wrong a lot is we take this ideal of family and we try to overlay that on top of our families and our careers or our businesses and how all that works together. And it doesn't always fit. And that automatically creates a conflict, right? So for us early on, I think we understood that our path was not traditional, in that there have been times where Adrian has been traveling the world, and I, when he was, in-house, still in corporate, and I was at home with, the kid, and, then he left to start his own business. It was like, go live your dream. I will work and travel the world. And, he was the room dad, and, I wasn't there. So, but it was what worked for us. And we had to sort of, and trust me, wasn't perfect. It was rocky. There was definitely some highs and lows, but we just had to really define what was going to work for our style of family and our style of parenting, and then our style of romance, right? With all of that, because the reality is the concept of balance. And I heard someone say this, and so I've just adapted it, but it's not original to me, is that you have to earn balance. Balance is not something that is automatic. You earn that through hard work. And that means that a lot of things are going to be imbalanced until you build a foundation and until you have a strategy that you've executed that allows for more balance. And so, for us, we knew that early on we were going to be working. We sat down with the kids. This is our life, right? Like this is the part that you play in it, involving them in it. I had to let go of mom guilt, right? To understand that this was an absolute necessary to get to a place where I could be in entrepreneurship and have a more flexible schedule. But I absolutely was not ready for entrepreneurship earlier, in marriage and earlier with kids. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So as there's transitions like that, it's, again, coming back to the center, remembering, what the family charter is, what we've agreed to, making those adjustments when things change, and being able to pivot, and understanding that balance is earned. And the harder that I work to be able to achieve that, the more that I'm able to give to the people who are closest to me. And you get to those decision points where it's no longer conducive to me to travel 75% of the time, to be gone away from my family that much. So this is the pivot. So you come back to the center and say, how do we make that adjustment so that I can be here more for the kids? And we did that.
Right. Would you say that some of that was being able to find humor? Because one of the things that I love about you guys, y'all some funny folks, boy. Y'all just some funny folks.
Adrian's a lot funnier than me. Honestly, I'm serious most of the time. And I take words very literally. Like, if you say it to me, like, that's the way I'm taking it. So I will say, yes, the sense of humor, but it's Adrian sort of creating that balance, breaking up my seriousness with his silliness sometimes, because he's almost never serious. But that levity definitely helps with the pressure.
Right.
It definitely helps, like, to bring me out of that, because me, I plan life for the next 10 years. Like, this is what it's got to be. And if something doesn't work, I'm like, whose head is gonna roll, right? But then he, calms me down. It's like, relax. We're gonna have fun. And if we're not having fun doing it, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Like, everything will work out.
That sounds easy.
Yeah, it's not. But
so, speaking of again, emotional intelligence, I want to bring this back to you, Adrian. What is emotional intelligence, and how does it relate to goals and getting those things, being able to achieve those things? First question, and the second question is, why did you choose that path as a coach? Was it something that you realized you were passionate about, or was there an experience that said, I definitely need to study that more? What was it for you? Those two questions.
For sure, man. I'm a learner, if I'm nothing else. I'm a nerd. I was a jock for years, but I'm actually a nerd. So I take pleasure in learning stuff. I was a psych major, right? And psychology, it fits really well with what I'm passionate about, and that's understanding people. I like people. I have a pet company, but our slogan is a people place for pets, right? And there's a lot of things we do within that, from pet owners to business owners. But the point is that I really appreciate seeing people win, right? And I think I grew up on, my mom is kind of that set up that way, and I grew up as a mother's boy. Sorry, that's one of my dogs. But from that aspect, I like people, right? So I was also a sales rep, and sales encompasses a lot of different places, but a lot of different industries. But in medical devices, me in particular, I was selling to neurosurgeons, literally people that go to college, not elementary, high school, and middle school, college for 16 years, right? Mm-hmm. So highly intelligent. Many don't even want to interact with you on that level. It's more so how you can help them. So how do you influence people? I became very interested in how I not manipulate people, but how do I influence them in a way that we all can win? So the deeper I got into that from a sales perspective, I started to dive into it and matched up psychology. And then when I left corporate America and ended up in a brick and mortar retail store, depressed because of how I left corporate America and trying to start a business, and I'm there by myself and I'm not traveling and driving all day, I had to figure out how I was going to be able to get myself through this ordeal. And I really dug into it. So emotional intelligence is people, the word emotion can be negative to people. So they don't even want to believe that it's a real, a real feel, but it is. It's not as old. It's new. Back in the 90s, a couple psychologists did some research. But emotional intelligence is based on self-awareness, knowing yourself in and out. You talk to me, I know my weaknesses. I'm not embarrassed about my weaknesses because I know my strengths. And you might get me in my weakness for a couple minutes, but I'm going to get back to my strengths, right? I can do that and be confident in that because I know myself. The second piece of it is self-regulation, right? Emotion's not bad. Adrenaline is emotion. Emotions are chemicals and impulses, electricity in the body. That's all they are. God gave them to us so that we can pay attention to what's going on around us. Adrenaline, you're running from a bear, you can jump higher, you can see, you can run faster, you can scream louder. You might even be able to fight that bear off with adrenaline. It's a purpose for that. The problem is if you get that adrenaline and driving your car and you shoot somebody. So it's not the emotion, it's the behavior, right? So once you understand yourself and you understand how to regulate yourself, then you can get to the other pieces of emotional intelligence, which is motivation, empathy, and social skills. But the first piece of that is you. And a lot of people never deal with ourselves. Not deal with ourselves in a way that you know what makes you anxious or you know what triggers you. It's dealing with yourself in a way that you know that. And when you encounter it, because you will, you behave correctly so that you can get to an efficient solution. So emotional intelligence is not manipulating people. As a matter of fact, if you're manipulating people, that's not emotionally intelligent, because that situation is going to turn around on you. Emotional intelligence is putting yourself in a position that you can work with other people around you so that we all come to a common goal and solution and people fulfill. That's emotional intelligence in a nutshell. Now, you can get deep into it. I'm taking it as I get certified further, more into the spiritual aspect, because what I found is there's not many people that look like me in medical devices. There's not many people who look like me in the tech industry. And there's certainly not any emotional intelligence coaches who look like me. So I do like being different, but I also like bringing something to the table where I can help people. So as I franchise my business, which we'll talk about at some point, how best can I help those entrepreneurs get to where they need to be? And emotional intelligence doesn't focus on just one thing. It's deeper than that.
Awesome. As we reset the room, Lamont's going to have a question. Shout out to Dion Daniels, watching all the way from, I believe, Fort Lauderdale. Shout out to Land of Love. I hope I said it right. Land of Love. Land of Love. And of course, shout out to the great Wayne Moody in the building, as always, man. Shout out to you guys. And shout out to everyone watching all over the place. We are talking about emotional intelligence with the great Adrian and Melia Archie, all the way from Florida. Shout out to Charms Postel. What's up, Charm? She in hiding right now. I've been trying to reach her. Nobody can find her. You know what I'm saying? She in hiding. I see you though. She in hiding right now. But shout out to everyone watching. Lamont, go ahead, man.
So when we talk about emotional intelligence, what have a lack of emotional intelligence? How can a lack of emotional intelligence hold people back from achieving their goals?
Yeah, for sure, man. If you look, research is actual research that shows that people with higher, in corporations, people with higher emotional intelligence end up more, they hitting their goals, they navigate the organization better, they achieve better. And there's research that shows that can actually quantify that. So, I mean, you look at the number of different, most people that experience, and not just corporations, but in life, relationships, family, general people on the street, most people are their own block, because, and I think something, I was talking about this with somebody I'm coaching today, actually, and the perfection is one of those things that a lot of people run into. And the problem with perfection is you're looking for an ideal that you're not going to accomplish, maybe never, but definitely not every day. So that need to feel that, oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, we're excited. Oh my God, it's happening tomorrow. That excitement is actually just as unhealthy as depression, because it'll throw you into depression if you can't achieve that every day. So any behavior that's destructive to somebody, it's all relative, right? It's things that I can do very well that people think I'm crazy. How do you do that? You don't have to be prepared. You don't need it. But then there's other things that I have to work on. So it's always relative, but it's whatever is destructive in front of you, which in most cases is other people and the things that you continually find yourself in a cycle doing. So we all know people that are self-destructive in some way, whether it's they don't want to. I'm an introvert, actually. My wife will tell you. But I'm sales rep, athlete, entrepreneur. I'm speaking. I want to. So emotional intelligence has really been able to regulate yourself in a way that you can show up the way you need to be, no matter what.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. we're going to be wrapping up soon, but I want to just discuss a couple of things real quick. One is talking about strategies or techniques for people to be able to develop emotional intelligence. Who are those people for you? How can how can we lead them to you as far as coaching is concerned, if you're taking on clients, of course. And then the second thing I want to talk about, voice box. I think this is super awesome. I'm excited about it. I haven't gotten a chance to go there yet, but I will be in the building soon. So first, let's talk about, what are some of the strategies that you guys use? Any one of you guys can take that on.
So I think one of them is our relationship, and we definitely ain't perfect, and we both are type A. We clash at times, and we go through a lot with miscarriages and things. But my wife, I never wanted a housewife, so God definitely sent me what I was looking for from that perspective. But most men, I would think, and the friends that I talk to, having a wife that is out front, there's been periods of our relationship when I wanted to go be an entrepreneur. I went from getting paid really well to she was the breadwinner for years, and me depressed and can't get up, and literally her carrying the family on her back. So, being able to navigate our relationship in a way where I could not even share the spotlight, take it, right? Just that general sense of being able to interact with people. And then I think a technique that you can use. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to cut in there. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think it's important to say that emotional intelligence, and I'm learning this from Adrian, it's not sort of my thing from a sort of a work perspective, but I'm certainly impacted by it, in that even when I was making my transition out of criminal law into corporate, I didn't realize how many limiting beliefs I had in terms of my own abilities to do something new. I thought I was good at what I was doing, but when I presented with the challenge to go to another level, all of a sudden, all of these like lifelong limiting beliefs popped to the surface. I was intimidated. I didn't think, I was going to be smart enough, all of these things. And so it was really my husband, sort of helping me settle to say, but why? Why are you in such a relationship with fear and anxiety? Not that we all don't have it, but why have you started to fellowship with it? In that you have accepted it as a constant that you cannot live without, that is really about to have you self-sabotage this next place of elevation for you. And that unofficial counsel, just within the marriage, really helped me turn the corner and broke open a whole realm in career, in, finance, all of that, just because I was able to become self-aware of the fact that I had an unhealthy relationship with anxiety and with fear, that I had grown up with, that no one had really ever challenged. It was okay to say, oh, I can't do that. Like, I'm scared. I'm just not going to do that. But what's on the other side of that?
As a prosecutor, really?
No, listen, I can go to court and I can try a case in front of the jury and I'm not scared.
Perfection. It's perfection.
Right.
It was perfection, but it was, that's what I knew, and that's what I knew I was good at. But how then do I make it? Because what I made was almost an impossible transition. Most people don't go from being a career prosecutor to an in-house corporate law program practice the way that I did. And so, but whenever, I think that a lot of us are called to be astronauts. We're called to go places where no one has gone before and do things that no one has done before. That is always going to be scary. The difference between those who do and those who don't is being able to accept that it's scary and keep it moving and move through it. And those who, like me at that time, are about ready to settle in fear and say, I'm just going to take something that's more comfortable, that's safer, that I feel less threatened by, and park here because I don't know what's on the other side of that. And it may be more than I can handle. And, him really educated me on the emotional intelligence piece and putting language to what I had been feeling and that I couldn't articulate, and really challenging me, which I would encourage everybody to, if you're considering marriage, you're already married, wherever you are on that spectrum, is to be okay with being challenged within the marriage. And again, I'm making that sound a lot easier than it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was that challenge that really had me look deeper and be more introspective about what it was and putting language to it. And I realized, like, I don't do that. I don't stop at fear. So I'm not going to do that now. And that was a difference maker.
I like what you said in terms of asking the right questions, because I think for me, when I think about emotional intelligence, guys, I think about it is being in a position of asking yourself the right questions. Why is it like that? Why do you behave a certain way? I've been through some really, really tough times in my life, and quite honestly, majority of the time, I just work through it until I came to points like, wait a minute, why is this happening? And when I begin to ask those questions, and not only asking myself those questions, but those around me, man, when I started getting these answers, honestly, I didn't like it at first, but then I got it, and it made sense. And I was like, I get it now. And so I love the fact that you're in this space. I think it's definitely important for us men as far as entrepreneurs concerned, because it's not just about the bottom line, the next dollar, but it's really about being healthy emotionally as well as being healthy fiscally. Last thing I'll ask you guys about voice box, man. What's up with that? Let us know about that.
Can I get one tip?
Yes. Please,
I think it's important to people, because I really think, and I'll be quick, but I really think people, this is something that, especially our culture, men, African Americans, we got a lot of talent, a lot of intelligence. We know that. How do we deliver it? How do we show up in it consistently? It's emotional intelligence. So yeah, I'm taking clients, but on a bigger level, two things. Number one, transparency. The more you can focus on being transparent, I don't know if it's your wife, your spouse, your friend, your coworker, strangers, the more transparent you can become, the quicker you will get to understanding yourself. Because a lot of people hide behind fear, fake, what they think they should be doing. Become transparent, and you'll get the emotional intelligence much quicker. And then the last piece of it is, when we're transitioning through life, if we're pivoting, if it's career, you want to leave corporate, you want to start your own business, you want to get married, whatever, relationships, whatever it is, fulfillment is the bottom line. It's not joy, it's not happiness, it's fulfillment. Because fulfillment can be sustained. Joy and happiness, that comes with the weather. Look up. What I found with a lot of people, and I say that generally because it's that serious, you can literally, and this is where emotions come in, and I'm done here in a second, is you can do things like that, and you can feel it go through your body. You can change your moods by focusing on doing it. And one of the things I focus on, and I probably drive my wife and my kids crazy and my friends crazy, but I joke with everybody, strangers especially. A dude with a Confederate flag hat on, I'm about to joke with him. Just number one, I'm practicing because I'm a communicator. And just like in football, I'm practicing communicating with everybody. But also, I've learned selfishly that maybe I make him smile and I change some mind, but it's definitely gonna make me smile. It made me feel better. So connect with people. God intended for us to connect. And I give very specific examples, and I'm done because my wife get mad at me, I'm long-winded. But if a bumblebee, a honeybee, it means that this earth dies if they die. Everything's connected. And if we as humans don't understand that at some point, that it takes connection to get to where you want to go, not selfishly. It takes connection. People are waiting on you to show up in your capacity so that they can unlock what they don't know they need. But a lot of us are so far out of place. So how do we stay in place? How do we show up in every day? How do we consistent connect with other people in a non-superficial way? Smile at people, hold the door for people, run and pick up somebody. Find ways to connect in positive ways, and I promise you your outlook will change. Most people are looking at their feet, spiritually and in real life, and they don't really realize it.
That's good, man. That's good. Heart level, baby. Heart level. Man, that's something I honestly believe in, and I always believed in that. You got to connect with people. They call me connection catalyst for a reason, because I'll go into a store and everybody knows me. It's not because I'm popular. It's because I take time. Hey, what's up, Joe? Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Marion, how the kids doing? you just take the time, man. It's not another number. It's not a cashier. It's a person that is behind that register, right? When I get stopped, people tell me, well, nothing ever happens to you when you get stopped by a cop. No, because I'm connecting. Officer, how you doing today? How's your day? What did I do? Oh, you know what? My bad. I really didn't realize I was going 25 over. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being honest, man. And majority of the time, people will walk away feeling like, you know what? Something's different. You know, and whether they're having a good day, bad day, no matter what, I love it, man. I love
the perfect example of that. I'm sorry, Melia. Perfect example of that. I know you got to go. Is that I made mistakes from years in this entrepreneurship thing. Now I'm selling my mistakes to franchisees that want to know what I know.
Wow.
That go through it, and then what you went through and the emotions you felt is for somebody else. Sorry, voice box.
No.
Man, we got to bring you guys back, man, for sure. But I want to definitely touch on VoiceBox before I let you guys go, and also to mention where they can find everything Archie. So, VoiceBox, talk to us about this,
so
man.
VoiceBox Podcast and Creator Studio is a brick and mortar content creation studio here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 901 South Federal Highway. And it's a place, we have hourly rentals of our studio that are all fully equipped with the top end podcasting, audio visual equipment. You can do everything from YouTube to Reels, any kind of digital media content creation in the studio. And I founded it because when I was in-house, even before I launched my own companies, I was trying to create content, wanted to do things on YouTube, wanted to get better, but I didn't know where to start, what equipment to buy, or, how to go about it. And so I thought, let's bring everything in one place. We have technical folks that we outsource that come in and do the pre and post production and all of that. So, whatever you need, we have it in the studio. But at the basis of it, content creation, the digital economy is a $104 billion industry right now. And what we see is that, less than 30% of that is being taken up by Black and brown people and minorities. And so making digital media content creation more accessible to people is the way that we bridge that gap, and that we get more people able to build wealth for their families through digital media. And so, whatever touch that you need, if you are an expert and you just need a place to shoot, VoiceBox is a place for you. If you're just getting started and you need somebody to help write a script, to edit your videos, to edit the audio, we have those services as well.
And the reason we're not there because it's my fault.
Yeah, so this looks really bad to be doing a commercial for a studio, and but in fairness, I just got off the plane, so.
That's all right. That's all good. We'll definitely bring you guys back from the VoiceBox. Maybe we'll get all the boys to the VoiceBox. You know what I'm saying? Do a show from there. And
that'd be awesome.
And yeah, that would be awesome, man. But thank you so much. Let us go ahead, Mr. Producer. Let them know where they can find them. It's in the bottom there. It should be the website, 2 websites, and email address as well. So one of them is voiceboxpcs.com. Make sure you guys go and check them out. Also, the second one is moderncreatorslaw.com as well. And of course, on social media, right? I'm sure you guys are on social media. You can find all things. Awesome.
Yep,
awesome.
That's right.
I know Melia is a social media superstar. You know why? Because I follow her. You know what I'm saying? She be cracking me up sometimes. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for giving us so much today. And I gotta bring you guys back. Talk a lot more about this emotional intelligence stuff. I think it's amazing. I think we need more in that. And like Adrian said earlier, I think more of especially African American. You know, listen, I'm from Haiti. There's no such thing as going to a therapist or counselor or anything like that. You just either work it out on your own or work it out with Jesus. Those are the options. You know what I'm saying? And
true
so, yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so being able to be in a space now as we get older, as we get more educated, to know that, hey, there is a space that you can learn and grow and develop and understand, you know, the nuances of life and relationship and things like that. And so Thank you from Confidence Factor. Heart level, man. Heart level to you guys today. And I will catch you guys soon.
Thank you, man. This is awesome. You guys take care.
Thanks for coming on the show. Man, that was good. That was so good.
Sir.
Yes, sir. You know, I wanted them to stay around because, you know, we got the inspiration injection, right? She gave us the inspiration injection for today.
She did.
She gave us the inspiration, and here it is right here. Inspiration injection. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. Here it is right here. We are all called to be astronauts, to go places that no one has gone before. That's the inspiration injection. That's the quote right there. Boom. That's the quote right there. Mic drop. Mic drop. So,
mic drop.
It was a great show. Great show. You know, one of the things we talked about was connection, and one of the things that I started doing was people have those name tags on their chest for a reason when you go to stores. So I make it a point to every time I see someone with a name tag on their chest to say, "Thank you, Randy," or "Thank you, Michelle," or "How's your day?" You know, just by calling them by their name and having that connection with them, it changes their day. They feel recognized. So I love that piece.
I love being able to call out the names. And for me, as a linguist, I love being able to talk in their language. So whether it's French, Spanish, Creole, you know, being able to speak in someone's language, man, it lights them up, man. So definitely being able to connect with people is awesome, man. For those of you guys who are watching, this is Confidence Factor Talks. Today we had the wonderful and amazing Adrian and Melia Archie in the building talking about emotional intelligence and how it can help you grow and crush those goals that you have for 2023, man. With that being said, we are out of here. We will see you next Tuesday, 6:30, same time, same CF channel. Ooh, I love the way that sounds. Make sure you check us out, man.
And in everything you do, always keep it
heart level, baby. Heart level.
See you all next week.